Boom. Alright. Onwards to the review. So, okay, so we said Jijimon good, Xiaomon really super situational, Viximon pretty good, can come up in like security control, or obviously the Renamon deck. Gummymon, the breast green egg, since probably like Pinamon and Yokomon. This one's probably the best generic one. Hopmon. Argomon baby was used. Yeah, you could use Argomon, but that one was just kind of like because there was nothing really better. Like, I never felt like, oh man, because of my Argomon, I'm popping off, you know? Let's see. Hopmon. Your turn while you have a black tamer in play. This Digimon gets plus 1000 DP. Okay. That's fine, I guess. Yamon. Well, there are 10 or more cards in your trash. The Digimon gets plus 2000 DP on your turn, I guess. I mean, Demi Marimon, like the draw cards, and Demi Marimon and, what's the other one? I'm so bad with the names on these eggs. The one when you discard a card. Sunamon. And even Yaramon. Like, these are all better cards. My chat's being weird. Okay. Mother D Reaper, obviously the best egg in the set. I'm just kidding. Yeah, this card, I don't need to talk about this card. It's just really good. The whole reason for the deck existing. Guilmon, on play, reveal top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Galemon or Galemon in its name and 1 to Kato. Okay, so it's just the archetype searcher rookie. Inheritable. If this Digimon has Galemon or Galemon in its name, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. Pretty good effect. Pretty standard for Guilmon type cards. Growlmon, 2 to Digivolve. When attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 2000 DP or less. That could definitely come up. If you have a red tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less instead. That's pretty good on a 5000 DP body. Not the worst if you need to clear something out. Inheritable, if this Digimon has Growlmon or Galemon in its name, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. Yeah, that's pretty strong. Just clear out rookies when attacking. War Growlmon, 3 to Digivolve. When attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. If you have a red tamer in play, delete 6000 DP or less instead. 8000 DP body, that's really strong. Inheritable, your turn, add 1000 to the maximum DP you can choose with DP based deletion effects. I think that's actually really good because it applies to your Digimon effects as well as your options, and the extra 1000 DP can definitely let you clear some things out that you normally wouldn't have been able to. Pagumon might get played just because Beelzer wants to mill. Okay, fair enough. Okay, Galemon. I think this card's pretty good. Your turn, this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP, so it's a 14,000 DP beat stick. Your turn, while you have a red tamer in play, add 2000 to the maximum DP you can choose with DP-based deletion effects. That's super strong, and then it combines with the when attacking effect, which is just Atomic Blaster. Choose any number of your opponent's Digimon whose total DP adds up to 6000 or less and delete them. Obviously, you combine this with the fact that you can add another 2000 on it, so it's literally Atomic Blaster on a body. And then if you had the Wargrama, you can do 9000 DP. And then with this, you can delete another 3000 DP Digimon, and then another 2000 DP Digimon, or 3000 DP Digimon. So if you have the full line, you can definitely board clear with an attack from this Galemon. The big thing I see, though, is that it's 40 Digivolve, so it's going to be tough to get him out on your turn and attack with him on the same turn, unless you, like, Mem Boost, or, yeah, I guess unless you Mem Boost. So we'll see how that works out. I don't know, or actually, no, the Takato gives Blitz, so yeah, that's a good way to get around that. So yeah, you can definitely board clear with Takato and this coming out on the same turn, which is pretty cool. I can see Wargrowl being good in the future. Yeah, for sure. This, it's just like a generic add 1000 DP to destruction effects in red. That's pretty good. Megidramon. 5 to Digivolve from red or purple, red-purple dual color. Treated as Chaos Gallantmon. Okay. So it's a Gallantmon for all intents and purposes. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 10,000 DP or less. I almost thought that said 1,000. No, 10,000 DP or less. If no Digimon was deleted by this effect, trash the top 5 cards of both players' decks. Okay, so another mill type card. I don't know. This isn't gonna steal games like Creepymon does with its mill, because I mean, it's just only the one Digivolving, so it only does it once, and it's only top 5. Creepmon can do like 9, which is pretty insane. On deletion, you may play one Galemon and one Takato from your hand and or trash without paying in their memory cost. Okay. I guess this is like your secondary boss. I guess. I could see it. Change my stream title. EX2 Set review. Okay. Maybe we'll rate the cards too. So Gigimon is a 4. So on a scale of 1 being shit and 4 being like pretty strong, that's how I'll rate them. So yeah, the number I put on the side, that's what I rate them. I rate Gigimon a 4. I rate Xiaomon a 1. Biximon's like a 3. Gobimon's a 4. Hotmon, this is like a 2. This is like a 1. Mother is a 4. This Gimon, it's the in archetype searcher, so I guess we'll give it a 3. This Galemon, it's kind of whatever, but I guess you play it for the line. We'll give it like a 2. There's a lot of good level 4s in red is the problem. So it's like competing with other stuff. No one's going to use it with the intent to mill the other Megidramons, just straight mills 5 on Evo. That's true. That's true. War Galemon, this one has a 3 just because it could be pretty generically good, and 8000 DP body's good. Galemon, pretty strong boss in its own deck. Maybe this is a 4. I think this is a 4 card. Megidra gets a 3. Alright, and now we're moving on to cards we haven't seen yet. So, Labramon, inheritable. When attacking, once per turn, if this Digimon has jamming, gain 1 memory. This is pretty interesting. Obviously, like in an Imperial deck, well, you'll have jamming a lot, being able to gain memory, but at that point, I think the EX1 Vmon is better. Synergizes a little bit more when restanding gain a memory. And what else really uses jamming in blue decks? I guess if you run like a Koji focused blue hybrid deck, where you run the Kendo that gives you jamming, then maybe. But then at that point, you're better off just running 12 Strabimons. So I don't really know if this card has a place anywhere. Maybe this is like a 2. I could be overlooking something just because the gain of memory if you have jamming, that seems intriguing, but it means your combo turn gains 2 memory instead of 1. But wouldn't the EX2 Vmon do the same thing? Right? Because you restand, so you would gain the memory. I don't know. I could see it going both ways. I could definitely see it going both ways. Okay, Ice Devimon. Return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon with no Digivolution cards to its owner's hand when attacking. Play cost 4, Digivolve cost 2. Okay. So this is kind of like Kendo? No, they are once per turn. This card gets it in Pale and XV. Oh, yes, I see. I see what you mean. Yeah, because you only get 1 restand with the combo, but with this you do get 2 attacks. Yeah, that's true. Okay, then the only problem this card has is that it's not a Vmon, so you can fuck over your Ragramons and your Magnamon this way. I don't know. I think it's still like a 2. Ice Devimon. So this is pretty similar effect to Kendo Garurumon, except it's a little stronger. Kendo only bounces level 3s, I believe. Kendo. Yeah. I don't know. I can see this being okay. No, I don't even think you would run this in blue hybrid just because you have other level 4s to be playing. The effect isn't horrible though. This is like a 2. Caesarmon? Caesarmon? Just a generic level 4 jammer. It's like a 1. Galemon. On play, you may play one level 3 Digimon card from one of your blue Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying its memory cost. I think this is actually like a 3. There's some real combo potential with Galemon, especially if you're playing like blue, yellow DNA Digivolve with Shakomon. And Kazunela's out, so like on your like Metal Guru play, you can bust out 3 Digimon instead of just 2. Pretty cool card. Leomon, I think this card is actually pretty strong. So opponent's turn you have blocker, and then on deletion on any turn gain 2 memory and draw 1. So just having a blocker that has like Hammer Spark security effect on legs, and it also draws you cards, so it replaces itself. Pretty powerful. Obviously its biggest downside is 4000 DP. Gets like, it's not actually meaningfully blocking anything. You're just kind of using it to like dissuade them with the 2 memory gain effect. And it's just super vulnerable to getting bounced as well. But I think it's actually a really strong card. I'm going to give it a 3. And we finally get a super rare Leomon, which is pretty cool. Marine Angemon. On play. So for 11 play cost. For each of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards, recovery +1. This effect can't increase the number of cards in your security stack to 6 or more. Okay, so obviously this is like an analog of the old BT1 or BT2 Magnadramon, I should say. Blue-yellow card recovery. The on play for 11 is a little tough to swallow in this metagame right now. I know this card has like a tamer that reduces its cost, but I don't think that's like enough. And the condition that your opponent has to have Digimon with no sources in order to recover means that like you're playing it in a source strip deck, and the only viable source strip deck is Blue Hybrid, and Blue Hybrid doesn't really have time to be on playing an 11 cost Digimon just to recover. So this probably gets like a 1. I might be missing. Maybe this has like its own like weird blue-yellow security control deck, but I don't think we ever see it. Really cool art though. Okay, I'll give it a 2 just for the art. Okay, moving on to yellow cards. Renamon. On play, reveal top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 Cubimon, Taomon, or Sakuyamon in its name, and 1 Rika among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So the in-archetype Riki Searcher. Inheritable, when you use an option card with the cost of 2 or more, gain 1 memory. Obviously, super useful card for the archetype. I'm going to give it a 3. Lotmon. Even with 4 of the Tamers, it's still 7 cost, which is steep. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what you're going to run like a blue hybrid deck with 4 Kentas? Like, I don't know. Like, would you run Kenta over starter deck Matt? I don't think. No. Like, just to fit in some healing. I don't know. Maybe you can cheese out some sort of like stall or win tactic like that in blue hybrid, but you don't need to be doing that stuff. Lotmon. If you have 3 or fewer security cards and Shu Chong Wong in play, recovery +1. Really interesting card in my opinion. Because I know Shu Chong plays out any Lopamon, and if I recall correctly, there is the Lopamon that lets you, yeah, you can add the top card of your security stack to your hand and then draw 1. So you bring yourself to add 2 cards to your hand, and then that obviously synergizes with this effect to have the 3 or lower security, and also this effect, which is if you have 3 or fewer security, you draw 1 card at the start of your turn. And if you consider the fact that like there's already this other Lotmon too, and that Lotmon was already played like in rush style decks, and obviously like this gets you a draw, this lets you recover, this gets you a draw, and then we'll get to the Untitled as well, which lets you pretty much warp Digivolve over your Lotmons for a level 5 beater. I think there's some sort of rush down deck there. I think I've heard rumors of some sort of Lotmon rush deck, the return of Yellow Rookie Rush maybe, I don't know. But it's interesting. I'll give it a 3 just for the interesting factor. Is it actually going to come up? I don't think so, outside of like a meme deck, like a for fun deck. But yeah, it's an interesting card design for sure. So I'll give it a 3. Cubimon. When Digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 option card with plug in its name among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So just more consistency for the Renamon deck, which it really needs because the plugins really clog your hand. It's like Jessmon having to fit in the Sisters. Very, very similar, except probably not as high payoff. And then the inheritable is when you use an option card with cost of 2 or more, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2,000 DP for the turn. Let's see, Renamon, you gain it, so you gain a memory and do minus 2,000 DP when you play an option if you have this stack. So not too bad. But it's, I don't know. I guess it's in archetype. I guess you have to run this card. I guess I'll give it a 2 just because it's boring. And Leomon. If you have Shuchong Wong in play, your Locomon can Digivolve into this card in your hand for a Digivolution cost of 3, ignoring its Digivolution requirements. So notably, you can put this over the purple Locomons, although I don't know if you would or not. I think the yellow ones are just better. And when attacking, once returned, you may trash the top card of your security stack to unsuspend this Digimon so it can swing twice. So it definitely lends itself to that Locomon beatdown style type of deck, which is super interesting. So again, I'm going to give this a 3. Is it actually good? I don't know, but it's interesting and it seems fun. And it's also cool art. So we'll give it a 3. Taomon. When Digivolving, you may play 1 Rika from your hand without paying its memory costs. And inheritable once per turn. When you use an option card with a cost of 2 or more, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2,000 DP for the turn. So again, just like doubling up on this Cubimon inheritable. So you do minus 4,000 DP for the playing an option. And then so minus 4,000 DP and gain a memory if you get this full inheritable stack out. Again, I just think it's kind of boring. I get that you have to play it for like the Renamon deck. But yeah, just a 2. And then the big payoff, Sakuyamon. When Digivolving, unsuspend one of your Digimon, and for each Tamer you have in play, return 1 option card with plugin in its name from your trash to your hand. And then your turn, when you use an option card with a cost of 2 or more, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 DP for the turn. So when Digivolving, you unsuspend, and then for each Tamer, return an plugin to your hand. And then when you use an option with 2 or more, minus 3,000. So let's say you have this full stack. You do minus 3, minus 5, minus 7, and you gain a memory. Interesting. Okay, interesting. And then and I think all the plugins have different costs. So you're gonna have to build the Lotmon Rush. Yeah, maybe for a meme. I don't know. I'm gonna get probably 1 or 2 boxes of EX2 tomorrow. So if I pull the cards, maybe I'll just toss it together for fun. But yeah, Sakuyamon with the plugin stuff, I know it can get pretty crazy, but you pretty much have to draw Godlike just because like the plugins are super brick. So who knows? It'll be a fun deck for sure. Sakuyamon, I'll give a 3. Fun deck. This Terriermon. Your turn, once per turn, you play a green Tamer, gain a memory, inheritable. When an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, this Digimon gets plus 2,000 DP for the turn. Really good Terriermon card. Really synergizes with the Armor Rapidmon. Synergizes with Green Hybrid. I think this is a really cool card design for green and something that really fills a niche that the color didn't really have before. I think the Tamer can play the options for free. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what Rika does, so we'll get there. Gargamon. Your turn. When this Digimon would Digivolve, if you have a green Tamer in play, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. Normally costs 2, so if you have a Tamer, it would cost 1. Your turn. When an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, this Digimon gets plus 2,000 DP for the turn. I think this card is really boring. It like doesn't really do anything that like any of the other green level 4s like don't do. I don't even know if you necessarily play it over like the original Gargamon. That's just like the flat 1,000 DP boost. And that one's just one to Digivolve no matter what. So, I don't know. I guess if you're going for like a full Terriermon Gargamon tribal deck and you're running the BT8 Terriermon, which searches out Gargamons and Rapidmons, then maybe you play this for consistency. But I still think the other original OG Gargamon is better. Rapidmon. If you have a green Tamer in play, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. That's a pretty cool effect. It's pretty similar to Leomon. Leomon was a good card from back in its day. And inheritable, when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, this Digimon gains security attack +1. Pretty useful effect. This is probably like a I don't know. It's actually kind of strong. It can come out and kill something. I'm gonna give it a 3. Parasitemon. End of attack. You may place this Digimon under one of your Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card. And then the inheritable, which obviously would synergize with this effect, is security +1 and DP +2000 on your turn. Really funny card. The problem is that giving up like a full level 6 stack just to like throw it under another stack, I don't know. Like if green had like Rowdy Rocker type card, then this card would be hilarious, but obviously it doesn't. Build the Parasitemon deck, please. Hell, I don't even like what would it be like? Just like a green deck that you just randomly toss this card in and like, nah. This card's a 1, bro. It's a 1. Okay, Vega Gargamon. For each green tamer you have in play, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. They don't unsuspend during your opponent's next unsuspend phase. Okay, so similar to the OG Mega Gargo, but this can do it to more things. The suspend, stun, depending on your tamers. And then when attacking, once per turn, return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon with DP, suspended Digimon with DP less than or equal to this Digimon's DP to its owner's hand. So base 13,000, which is already pretty high. And obviously you can boost it. There's a lot of DP boosting effects in green. If there was less than 1, I'd put Parasitemon there. Yeah, this card is actually just a 0, but you know what? It's a shitty card. So this Mega Gargo, okay, so in the context of like a Terriermon tribal deck, obviously you're going against the OG Mega Gargo, which has the suspend effect, and then it has security +1 if your opponent has a suspended Digimon in play. But it's only 11,000 DP, I think. So obviously it's weaker. This one can stun a lot more things, and it can also bounce things when attacking. So I think obviously this one is superior. Obviously it doesn't hit as hard, but that can be remedied by the Rapidmon. So we're going to give this one a 3. Pretty decent payoff for the deck as the boss type monster. It's a worse Shine Gray and worse Rapid. It is worse than Armor Rapidmon. That is true. If you're going to go all in on the Mega Gargo Tribal, then I don't think you run another boss except for Nidhogg. It's not great. OG is better. Is it? Okay, what does this one do? Security +1. Hits a little harder. 1 less Digivolve. This one can stun more things. Bounces on attacking. I don't know. I guess it's a toss-up for what you're trying to do. 5 cost is way too high. I mean, all the green level 6s cost 5 though, because HPD is still a card. I don't know. I mean, I could see it going either way, and then you can reduce the cost, right, with Willis. Well, then I guess at that point you're also reducing the cost of this one as well. Yeah, okay. All right, it's a 2. It's a 2, guys. All right, moving on. Mono Dramon. Another rookie searcher. Yeah, top 4 cards of your deck. Add all black tamer cards among them to your hand. Oh, only for black tamers. That's interesting. I assume there's some sort of tamer strategy in black in this set. So we'll give it a 3, just like all the other rookie searchers. I don't know if it's any better or worse than them. We'll retroactively switch this if I don't know. I think I have to read the rest of the cards in the set. You can run both Mega Gargos, but I think the older one is better comparatively. A new Diaboromon card. Okay. Oh, word. Yeah, that's actually funny. Yeah, they actually fit in that deck. Too bad Diaboromon, like, people just forgot about it completely. Gardramon. Blocker, as all Gardramons have. On play, one of your Digimon gets plus 3000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn. Obviously, you can give it to itself, so it becomes a 7000 DP blocker for one turn. For play cost 5, it's a 1. Strike Dramon. Reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 black Tamer card among them to your hand. Okay, again with the Tamer searching. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. When attacking, once per turn, if you have 2 or more black Tamers in play, gain 1 memory. Interesting. So whatever this deck is doing, it's doing something with Tamers. Okay, I'm going to give it a 2 just because I still don't know what this deck is trying to do. I guess when we get to I assume the boss is Justimon, so when we get there, we'll see what's up with the Tamer stuff. A Gargamon that can attack, also true. Okay, Locomon, your turn. When this Digimon would Digivolve into a ground Locomon in your hand, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. Okay, what does ground Locomon do? Level 6, your turn. This Digimon can attack your opponent's Digimon. Can't attack your oh god, okay. Cannot attack your opponent's Digimon. And then all turns, for each card in your trash with Cyborg or Machine in its traits, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP. What the heck? Okay, these are both 1s. Dramon. Blocker, as per usual, and opponent's turn, all your Digimon with blocker get plus 2000, so it's an 8000 DP blocker on your opponent's turn. Digivolve cost 3, level 5. It's a 1. Cyberdramon. Okay. You may play 1 Rio Akiyama from your hand without playing its memory cost. Okay, so I assume this is like the payoff tamer for the deck that you're trying so desperately to search for. While you have no tamers in play, this Digimon can't attack players. Oh, Jesus. It's a pretty harsh drawback, but since you're searching so much for tamers with the other cards, maybe it never comes up. Okay. Inheritable. When attacking once per turn, if you have 2 or more black tamers in play, Digivolve 1 of your opponent's Digimon. Okay, Digivolving when attacking as an effect is actually pretty good. And 10,000 DP for a level 5 is actually insanely high. For only Digivolve cost 3. This is actually a 3, even with the drawback that it can attack if you don't have a tamer. I assume that's not going to be that big of a problem considering how much search you have for tamers in this, whatever this deck is trying to do. Okay, Ground Locomon was a 1. Reapermon has Reboot. And then opponent's turn, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon becomes unsuspended, Digivolve 1. Interesting. So I assume this works on the unsuspend phase, so just at the start of your opponent's turn, you would Digivolve 1 of their Digimon. I don't know if that realistically does anything spectacular. 4 Digivolve, only 11,000 DP. Realistically, this is a 1, but I'm going to give it a 2 just because the effect is kind of funny. Okay, Justimon. Okay, what's the payoff here? When Digivolving, activate one of the effects below. This Digimon gets plus 2000 DP for the turn. Unsuspend this Digimon. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 5 or less. When attacking, once per turn, for each tamer you have in play, activate this Digimon's when Digivolving effect. Okay, so here's the payoff. So I guess you have like a shitload of tamers in the back, and then you bring out the Justimon, and then you can like unsuspend yourself a bunch of times and keep swinging or deleting things or plussing yourself. Well, I guess you would only be able to unsuspend yourself once, right? Because it's once per turn. So you'd get the effect once when you Digivolve, right? You get to choose one. And then when attacking, you would activate... You can only unsuspend once, right? Yeah. And then you can use the other 2 as many times as you want. It's only 3 attacks max. Yeah, okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Right, swing with the level 5. Justimon. Unsuspend. Swing. Effect when attacking to unsuspend. Yeah. Okay. I guess? I don't know. I guess I have to read what the Tamer does. I'm sure the Tamer does something pretty broken. Swing with the level 5, Evo, and suspend, then swing and suspend. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Okay, I'll give it a 3, and then I'll skip ahead to the Tamer just because now I'm curious. Ryo Akiyama. On play, reveal top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Dramon or Justimon in its name among them to your hand. Okay. Place remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order, and then your turn when you attack with a black Digimon, you may suspend this Tamer to have that Digimon get plus 1000 DP. I mean, it's not that great. I guess it's like an archetype card. But okay. I guess, I mean, it's a searcher, I guess. I'll give it a 3, and here's another black Tamer. We might as well just do this one while we're here. If you have Digimon with Cyborg or Machine in its traits in play, gain 1 memory at the start of your main phase. Is it Cyborg or Machine? Yes. Cyborg or Machine? Yes. This one is not. So it's only once you get to Cyber Dramon. Okay. And then all turns when one of your Digimon with Cyborg or Machine in its traits becomes suspended. You may suspend this Tamer to draw 1, then trash 1 card in your hand. So this is Machine Dramon support, actually. Right? 3. Okay. We'll go back to going in order then. Machine Dramon. Yeah, for sure Machine Dramon support on the Kazu. Okay. So Justimon seems more like a gimmick than anything. I guess you could get to... What is it? 13... You can get to 15,000... Digivolve something. Digivolve 2 things. Gain a memory. That's it. I don't know. It seems very whelming. I'm not underwhelmed. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm just whelmed. In comparison to, I don't know. It's a 2. I think it's a 2. I'm not particularly impressed. Maybe I could be wrong. It's meh. Yeah, it's meh. Alright, moving on to purple. Oh boy, Impmon. When this card is trashed from your deck, if it wasn't trashed by EX2 039 Impmon's effect, you may trash up to 3 cards from top. Okay, so if it didn't trash itself with its own effect, you can trash 3 cards. So the on play is reveal top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon card with Beelzemon in its name, and 1 I and Mako among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. How would it be trashed by its own effect? Am I reading this wrong? If it wasn't trashed by this Impmon's effect, so this Impmon's number, but then the on play, reveal top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon card with Beelzemon in its name. Oh, I guess it would refer to the babies, right? It can pop level 6s with Cyber Draw Evo skill. Yeah. I don't know. It's meh. There are other decks that pop level 6s. It can't chain itself. The Impmon it specifies is itself. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but okay. So when this card is trashed from your deck, if it wasn't trashed by the Impmon EX2 039 Impmon's effect, so this same card, you may trash up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. But this card doesn't have an effect to trash cards. Reveal top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon with Beelzemon and 1 Iron Mako among to your hand, and it places the rest at the bottom of the deck. So I guess the only thing I could think of is that if you have like a Demi-Marimon underneath it and you swing with this Impmon and the Demi-Marimon trashes or I don't know, there's one that mills cards from your deck, right? When you on deleted, I don't know. This card confuses me. But it's a Ricky searcher, so we'll give it a 3. I don't understand the point of that first clause. I must be like really missing something. So old Hitmon on delete mills 3, then it mills 3 more. Its effect that trashes cards is an effect. Its effect that trashes cards is its effect if it's milled. Yeah, but this card doesn't trash cards when it's milled. Oh, wait, I'm stupid. I get it now. Yes, I understand. Okay, yeah. Holy shit. I don't know why that took me so long to figure out. Okay, yes, I understand. I understand. All right. Yeah. All right, sick. Moving on. Moving on from my brain fart right there. Retaliation. When this Digimon is deleted after losing a battle, delete the Digimon it was battling. I don't know why I just read the retaliation keyword. I'm tilted from the Intmon effect, okay? I can't read. This card has retaliation, and when attacking, you may trash top 2 cards of your deck. It's fine. Like, level 4 retaliators are always really annoying to play against. 3. Digi-Lightsworn. Okay, yeah, I get it. Doberman. When you would play this card from your hand, reduce its play cost by 2 if you have Alice in play. On deletion, trash top 3 cards of your deck. Then return 1 purple Digimon card or 1 purple Tamer card from your trash to your hand. Top 3 cards of your deck, then return 1 purple Digimon card or 1 purple Tamer card from your trash to your hand. Level 4, 4000 DP. Play this card from your hand, reduce cost by 2 if you have Alice, so it's a play cost 3. 2. Mephistomon. On play, draw 2, then trash 2 cards from your hand for play cost 7. Jesus, that's pretty steep. Dober is cracked in Bielstar, basically more scatter modes. It totally is, isn't it? Return 1 purple Digimon card or 1 purple Tamer card from your trash to your hand. You want to be milling things. Would you play Alice in Bielstar though? Or does it not even matter? You would just hard slam for 5. One of your Digimon would Digivolve from level 5 to level 6. No, I guess you would just be hard slamming this thing for 5 or Digivolving into it for 2. I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's a 3. It's a 2.5. Nah. Okay. Mephistomon, and then I don't know. On play to draw 2, trash 2, 7. Is this not strictly worse than Lady Devimon? 1. Golfmon. When Digivolving, all players trash cards in their hand until they have 5 cards left. Oh. Your turn. Once returned, when one of your effects trashes a card in your hand, you may unsuspend one of your Digimon. Oh, why am I so interested by this card? Card hand sizes get pretty fat in this game, especially towards like the later stages of the game. People frequently have like 10 plus cards in their hand, so just like nuking half of their hand can be pretty interesting. Very intrigued by this card. I'm gonna give it a 3. Very, very interesting effect. Imagine a crack deck with Golfmon plus Ebon Mumon. I mean, green-purple is a dual color combination. There is Kogamon, and I think they're doing one more was released, I think. Dark Tyrant. Okay, for some reason this isn't loading properly. There we go. Yeah, Kogamon, Dark Tyrannomon, EX Tyrannomon, X Tyrannomon. I don't know. Maybe. The Golfmon Ebon Woomon deck could be a thing come EX3. Slowly but surely, the purple green deck is coming to fruition after Arocamon, the first of its kind. All right. Oh Jesus, why is it so big? Okay. We were on Golfmon. Okay. Beelzemon. Okay, people are hyped for this card. Let's see. When this card is trashed from your deck, you may play one Itmon from your trash without paying its memory cost. Okay. That's pretty cool. When digivolving or when attacking, you may trash the top 2 cards of your deck, then delete one of your opponent's level 3 or lower Digimon. Okay. For every 10 cards in your trash, add 1 to the maximum level of Digimon you can choose with this effect. Oh. So if you have 30 cards in trash... Oh, hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah, so 30 cards in trash, you can delete level 6s when attacking. You definitely get there with all the milling and stuff you have going on too. That's pretty interesting. And it's not once per turn, so in theory you can win Digivolve, pop something, and then attack and then pop something, right? That's how it works. That's pretty cool. Okay, moving on. Basically, the deck just gets random free effects all the time from milling stuff. Yeah. When you play this card from your hand, reduces play cost by 2. If you have Galemon, Terriermon, Renamon, or Impmon in play, your turn, this Digimon can't attack. Your turn, when one of your Digimon Digivolve, you may suspend this Digimon to gain 1 memory, draw 1, and then have one of your Digimon get plus 3000 DP for the turn. Very strange. Very strange. I don't know if that's like actually useful. Like, you have to hard commit 3 memory at some point in the game. I guess if you're running like a Galemon, Terriermon, or Renamon deck, or a Beelzemon deck, it would only cost 1. And the next time you Digivolve, reduce cost by 1. I mean, okay, I can see where it would come up. I guess the problem is that you would have to make space for it. 2. Oh, I never rated Beelzemon. It's a 4. This is a 4 card. This is a pretty powerful effect. Okay, Reapers. Moving on to all the Reapers. Okay, Searcher costs 1 memory, and you draw 1 card on play, and then it's the linchpin of the deck. I'm gonna give this card because it's it's the only card I can give a 5 to. I'm gonna get it a 5. Yeah. Pendulum Feet. You have to run this card at 4 in the deck. This is pretty much like your Searcher, right? On play, reveal. Most decks run Galemon as a 1 of. It's a worse Pokemon IMO, great value, but it puts itself in harm's way. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too. I mean, I can see it coming up for like a clutch, like you need that extra memory squeeze out, or the extra TP squeeze out. But other than that, I don't know. It's really situational. Okay, moving back to Pendulum Feet. Reveal top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with D-Reaper in its traits and 1 ADR02 Searcher among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is pretty much the D-Reaper Searcher. You can play it for free with the Mother D-Reaper's effect. So it's 4. Like, you have to max out this card. This is one of the best cards in the deck. Bubbles, security effect. You can put a Searcher from your board or your hand under your Mother D-Reaper as its bottom Digivolution card. So that's, if you trigger this in security, that's what it does. So it lets you ramp up to your 6 or 7 Searchers that you need in your sources to activate your Gatekeeper or your Reaper. And then on play is the same effect. So it just helps you like turbo into like all the Searchers you need underneath your Mother D-Reaper to get like, your more powerful effects off. It's like a 3. It's not like super spectacular, but you definitely need it to run it in the deck to speed yourself up. Jerry, play cost 5. Obviously that can be reduced very easily by Mother D-Reaper effect. Main effect is you can suspend it to reveal top 5 cards of your deck and then place a Searcher among them underneath one of your Mothers as its bottom Digivolution source. Put rest at the bottom of your deck. Jerry is a 4. You definitely have to see this card pretty early in Reaper to ensure like a strong game. Games where you don't see Jerry feel really weird because you just feel a lot slower. And if you can't get to at least that 6 Searchers under your Reaper to activate your Gatekeeper, then it's very easy to get like donked out of the game by like faster decks. So Jerry is definitely a must at 4. Creep Hands is just a blocker if you have Mother D-Reaper on your board. 6000 DP blocker, play cost 5. The thing about Creep Hands is that it's not a card that you want to play, but depending on the matchup, it almost feels like a card that you have to play. Like, let's say, like any red deck that can run Judgment of the Blade, like Galemon, I'm sure can do it. And then if they can get over 15,000 DP, they can swing over your Mother D-Reaper, which is its only weakness, is getting swung over by cards that can attack unsuspended Digimon. So Galemon can do it with Judgment of the Blade. Black War Greymon can do it with the Metal Greymon inheritable effect, and it can definitely boost itself up to over 15,000. So against decks like that, you really do want the Creep Hands just to like protect your Mother, because if your Mother gets donked by one of those cards, it feels like awful. Like you can't, it's really hard to rebuild, especially if it like your Mother had a lot of Searchers underneath it. There's no way to like recur your Searchers from your trash back onto the field. So once they're dead, and it just feels really awkward. Pilates Head. If you have a Mother D-Reaper in play, you may suspend this Digimon to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with DP less than or equal to this Digimon's DP. Obviously, this card can start deleting some pretty strong cards with all the DP plus effects from the Searchers. So you can start clearing level 5s, even sometimes level 6s if you have enough cards underneath your Mother. For the most part, you're going to be deleting level 5s or lowers. Obviously the problem is that it's a little slow, and it's a really poor answer to Psychmon, which is like the deck's second biggest weakness. Well, I would almost say first biggest weakness, just because Psychmon is a lot easier to put out onto the field than it is to get a card that can swing over unsuspended Digimon that has over 16,000 DP. So in my list, I actually don't run Pilates Head. I probably should, but right now I was testing 3 Starmons just because I wanted that easier answer to Psychmon. But this card is definitely maybe like a 2 in the deck. It's a strong effect. It's just a little slow and doesn't always come up when you want it to. Horn Striker, play cost 7, has Rush. This is probably the worst Reaper. It's just like a mini. It's just it's literally a mini Reaper. This card. I can see it coming out like as a finisher, maybe like if you started your turn with Reaper to get like 3 or 4 swings in, and then it somehow dies, or you couldn't get the last check in, and then you can use your Mother's effect to Horn Striker. I don't know, maybe something like that. But it's this card is not good. There's no room for it like in any D-Reaper deck outside of like maybe a 1 of tech if you're feeling cheeky. Optimizer, on play or when attacking once per turn. If one of your Mother D-Reaper has 5 or more Digivolution cards, reveal top 3 cards of your deck. You may play 1 card with D-Reaper in its traits and a play cost of 10 or less among them without paying its memory cost. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So the effect reads really strong, but once you're at that 5 or more Digivolution cards threshold in your Reaper deck, like, you're not really looking to use Optimizer. You're looking to start slamming Gatekeepers and Reapers for game. So this card kind of falls into like a weird niche. And like, yeah, it seems cool on paper to like be able to bust out some of these guys for free. But in reality, by the time this card comes out, you don't actually super need this effect. So it's like a 2. I'm going to rate it a 2 out of 4. You can definitely run it. It's not necessary. A lot of lists don't play this card. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Moving on to Gatekeeper. This is like the most broken card in the deck, actually, I think. It's definitely a 4. So the security effect is you can play it without battling or without paying its memory cost, so similar to Zord Defeat. The on-play effect is if you have a Mother D-Reaper, you recover 1. So obviously that counts when you play it from security with its own effect, or if you just slam it from your hand. And then the most broken part, if recovery +1 from security isn't broken enough, it has an even more broken effect, which is on your opponent's turn. If you have a Mother with 6 or more sources, all your opponent's Digimon get security attack -1. It's just a holy flame on legs. This card is insane. If you can get out 2 Gatekeepers, it's pretty much GG. Like, your opponent just can't break through, and then you can stall the game out until you hit your final turn with Reaper, multiple swings. This card is absolutely insane. Gatekeeper deck has a card called Gatekeeper. Yeah, actually true. Such an appropriate name for a card that has sec -1 as a blanket effect. Yeah, this card is nutsos. Absolutely nutsos. If D-Reaper didn't have this card, the deck would suck balls, actually. This card is what makes the deck like super playable, actually. And finally, Reaper itself. This is your finisher card. So if you have 7 or more sources underneath your Mother, you can trash them all to play this card for free. It has Rush, and then when attacking, you can place 2 searches from your trash under this card as its sources to unsuspend it. So if you just trash the 7 and those are the only searchers in your trash, then you can get 3 unsuspends. If over the course of the game you ended up with more searchers in your trash, like, I don't know, like they checked them in security or somehow they got deleted before getting sucked, then you can get even more unsuspends. This is the finisher of the deck, clearly. You need to see this card to end the game for the most part. I'm going to rate it a 4. Although I will say that you don't necessarily need to run 4 of it in your deck, because it's a card you really only need to see once. Like, the turn you play Reaper is the turn you want to win, and if you don't win with your Reaper on that turn, then either something went wrong when you were attacking into security, or you just kind of flubbed it. Yeah, and then getting rid of 7 searches from underneath your Mother is probably going to turn off your Gatekeepers. So it's a pretty big risk to go for this card without ensuring you have game. Gatekeeper kind of has MTG phasing when you tactical retreat it. Yep, true. Opponent can't pop it if it's in security. Very true, because then it would just get the other recovery off again. Yeah. Tactical retreat plus Gatekeeper is definitely a pretty strong card interaction for sure. Alright, moving on to Tamers. Takato. When an opponent's Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this Tamer to gain 1 memory. Obviously, a lot of Digimon deletion effects in the Galemon deck, in addition to just attacking over stuff. So that's pretty good. And then your turn, when one of your Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon with Galemon or Gramon in its name, that Digimon gains when Digivolving Blitz. So you get Blitz when you Digivolve into Gramons or Galemons. Pretty strong effect. Obviously synergizes pretty well with the Galemon's effect to, when attacking, activate Atomic Blaster. So I'm going to give Takato a 3. It's a pretty strong Tamer for the archetype. Kenta 2 cost Tamer. If you would play a Marine Angemon from your hand, reduces play cost by 1. Not enough of a reduction, in my opinion, to make Marine Angemon worthwhile. And your turn, when you play Blue Digimon, you may suspend this Tamer to trash the bottom Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, if the Digimon played is Marine Angemon, trash the bottom Digivolution card of all your opponent's Digimon. Warp into Blitz is kind of nuts. Oh, that's true. That's true. The Warp Galemon from the starter deck. That's a good point. This card is probably like a 1. I don't see you ever running this over the starter deck mat. That's 2 cost, and I don't think Marine Angemon payoff is enough to like make this card worthwhile. Like if you have 4 Kentas out, you can make Marine Angemon cost 7 instead of 11, and that's still not worthwhile in my opinion. Jerry, 4 cost Tamer. On play, you may play 1 Leomon from your hand without paying its memory cost. Okay, so this is a 4 cost Tamer that doesn't set your memory to 3 or give you any sort of memory gainer effect, which is pretty interesting. And then opponent's turn, when an opponent's Digimon attacks, you may suspend this Tamer to draw 1. I think if this was a 3 cost Tamer, it would be a lot more enticing, but since it costs 4 and is competing with memory Tamers and dual Tamers, I don't know if you would ever run this deck. I've heard Leomon Blue Hybrid is a pretty funny deck. Yeah, Leomon I think is a pretty cool card to run in Blue Hybrid. Maybe it's like as a 1 or 2 of. I can definitely see it working. Okay. Jerry's like a 1. Shu Chong Wong. I mean, okay. In theory, if your opponent hits Jerry in security and you have a Leomon blocker in your hand, you can just play out a blocker for free that they weren't expecting, and then the Leomon will block something and then gain yourself 2 memory and draw you a card, in addition to being able to tap the Jerry to draw another card. Okay, maybe it's a 2. Shu Chong Wong. On play, you may play 1 Locomon from your hand without paying its memory cost. Start of your turn, if you have 3 of your security cards, draw 1. Okay, yeah. So if you're doing the Locomon rush strategy, then this card is obviously useful for that. Play cost 3 is pretty fair. This is a 3. Rika, memory setter. Set your memory to 3. And then your turn, when you attack with a Digimon with Renamon, Kiwimon, Taomon, or Sakuyamon in its name, you may suspend this Tamer to use 1 option card with plugin in its name from your hand without paying its memory cost. Okay, yes. So here's the payoff for all of the inheritable effects. Actually, I think considering what this card does to the archetype, it's probably a 4. In archetype only. Like as a generically good card, it's not. Obviously, you play Rika in like your Sakuyamon EX2 deck only. But I assume you absolutely have to see this card in order for the deck to do anything, just to be able to play those options out for free. So it's probably a 4. It's too critical to the strategy, and the effect is like a good payoff for what it's trying to do. Henry Wong, another memory setter. When you attack with a Digimon with Gargamon or Labramon in its name, you suspend this Tamer to suspend 1 of your opponent's Digimon. This card has the problem that all green Tamers have, in that it's competing with Mimi, which is one of the best Tamers in the game. 1. See, we already rated these. Alice. When one of your Digimon would Digivolve from level 5 to level 6, you may delete one of your Digimon to reduce the Digivolution cost by 3. Notably, this is a generic effect. It doesn't specify color for the Digimon. It's only a 2 cost Tamer. It's very splashable. I think this card is just waiting to get broken by some deck down the line. I'm going to give it a 4. Rika is a neat spell slinger kind of style. Yeah, I agree. It's just the deck is just too inconsistent. Like you have to fitting in all the plugins and your like actual just engine cards gets really clunky. Like I said before, it's very similar to Jesmon, where you had to somehow fit the Jesmon engine cards and the sister mons, which couldn't digivolve over anything. So just think of like the plugins as sister mons, and you kind of get like an analogous thing there. It's just a clunky deck with not as good of a payoff as Jesmon was. Mako. Alice would make Jesmon busted if Savior wasn't hit. Yeah, true actually. True actually. Well, it's a good thing Savior got hit. Okay, so memory setter. So another purple memory setter. So something finally other than purple mat. And your turn. When you attack with the Digimon, you may suspend this Tamer to trash the top card of your deck. Then, if the attacking Digimon is Beelzemon, you may Digivolve it into a Beelzemon Blast mode in your trash for a Digivolve cost of 3. This strikes me as pretty strong for the archetype, so I'm going to stay consistent with my Rika rating and also give this card a 4. Okay, moving on to offensive plugin A. 2 cost, gain security +1. So already this strikes me as worse than Lightning Joust, the Fire Rocket, and Atomic Inferno, because those are all 1 cost for the same effect and do more than that. And then security effect, reveal top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Tamer card among them to your hand, place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order, then add this card to your hand. So obviously this is like a boost for Sakuyamon. I can see it being useful in the Sakuyamon deck, but as a standalone red card, I think it's outclassed by a bunch of other cards that give security +1. I'm going to give it a 1. Sakuya kind of tight, focusing on an OTK with DP minus as a bonus. So is that what you do? You like security +1s, you stack these on your Sakuyamon and then try to go for game? Plugins are sometimes free. Yeah, I understand that plugins are free, but I don't know. If it... So what do you do here? Like you go... Right, because Sakuya can unsuspend itself, right? No, it's only one Digivolving. Unsuspend one of your Digimon. Then for each Tamer you have in play. Does the green plugin let you Digivolve mid-attack? No. Okay. What does this do? Gives you jamming. Okay. Then you go jamming, sec +1. You can't actually... I guess you could jamming Taomon, swing, Digivolve and Sakuya, unsuspend yourself. Or you can even jamming sec +1 Taomon, Digivolve and Sakuya, unsuspend yourself, swing again for another 2 checks. Yeah, swing with jamming sec +1, Evo and Sakuya, unsuspend yourself. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So I had the right idea then. Rika helps spam Evo plugin, and then when it goes for game, it'll do sec plus jamming, no blocking. Right. Okay. Right, because this also gives you jamming, you can't be blocked. Okay. With Lord Knight plus this. Oh, I get it. You can Lord Knight, attack, play Nightmon, plug in S for free, Digivolve Nightmon into Sakuyamon, Sakuyamon, unsuspend Lord Knight, swing with Lord Knight, play another Nightmon. If you have another... Okay. Yeah, I get it. I can see where you can loop Lord Knight and Sakuya. Okay. That seems so inconsistent. Okay. I stand by this card being a 1 though. It just seems like a card that you don't feel good about playing, but that you kind of have to play. Fireball. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. If an opponent's Digimon wasn't deleted by this effect, draw 2. So 2 costs for draw 2 or delete 3000 DP or less. That's pretty reasonable. I'll give it a 2. And then you can boost it in Ulforce. It's cool. Yeah, I could see plugin actually being kind of cool in Ulforce actually. Actually, yeah, I do see plugin. Even the security effect is good for Ulforce. Just search out Tamers. Okay, I take maybe this card is 2. All right. High speed plugin D. Same effect. When you have a Tamer in play, you may use this card without meeting its color requirements. And then main for the turn when your Digimon gets jamming, can be blocked by your opponent's Digimon. Security effect, draw 1, then add this card to your hand. This will also be a 2. Fist of the Beast King. While you have a Digimon with Beelzemon in its name in play, you may use this card without meeting its color requirements. Some nice flavor right there, hitting us with the flavor. And then main, unsuspend one of your Digimon with Leomon or Beelzemon in its name. Do you run this in the Beelzemon deck? Unsuspending this card and getting this effect off again seems pretty cool. What is it? Wait, like as a one-of, maybe? This is kind of funny. The flavor here is really funny. I don't know if you would actually run it in Beelzemon or not, but I'm going to give it a 2 just because I like the flavor. Digivolution plugin S. If you have a Tamer, use this card without meeting its color requirements. Main, draw 1. Then you may Digivolve one of your Digimon into a Digimon card in your hand that can Digivolve for a Digivolution cost of 3 or less without paying its Digivolution cost. So essentially you just reduce cost by 1, or you can make it free if you have Rika out. Okay. This is obviously good in the Renamon deck, in the Sakuyamon deck. Security, reveal top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. That's a pretty good security effect. Just a generic search. Out of all the plugins, this is the one that I need to rewatch Season 3 to remember the reference. So I'm pretty sure the reference is that Leomon is killed by Beelzemon. But Beelzemon like absorbs its data, and then Beelzemon can use Fist of the Beast King, and there's like this really cool scene where he does it, I think. Yeah, that's like the baby version, baby summary. Best plugin? Yeah. I'm inclined to agree this is probably the best plugin. I'm gonna give it a 3. Anything that costs 3 for 2 costs instead is nice. Yeah, and then combined with Rika, you can just make it a free Digivolution. Yeah. That's pretty good. Really speeds up the deck. Death Slinger. When this card is trashed from your deck, gain 1 memory. Okay. That's pretty cool for the Beelzemon deck, for sure. Main, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. For every 10 cards in your trash, add 1 to the maximum level of Digimon you can choose with this effect. Okay, so if you have 20 cards in your trash, delete level 6s or lowers. Security effect, activate this card's made effect. I can definitely see Beelzemon decks playing this. This is probably like a 3. Blue card. The only card that should have gotten a full art alt art, and for some reason it didn't. Really missed opportunity by Bandai. While you have a Tamer in play, you may use this card without meeting its color requirement as per all the plugins. Main, reveal top 5 cards of your deck. You may Digivolve one of your Digimon into 1 non-white Digimon card among them without paying its memory cost. Okay. If you don't, add 1 Digimon card among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. Security effect, you may play 1 Tamer card from your hand without paying its memory cost. I don't know. This card reads good. I don't know if you actually run it. It's pretty much just like, it's Gacha Green, the card. So you can just play Gacha Green in any deck now with this card. The without paying its memory cost thing is pretty cool, but blue card itself already costs 3. And it's not technically a plugin, so you can't reduce its cost with Rika. I don't know. I'm going to give this card a 2, just because I don't know if you would actually like run it in anything. I think there's potential. I also think there's potential. I just don't see it in any current deck style right now. The Evo effect is you may. Okay. Okay. So even if you don't evolve, you can just, it's just a 3-cost search effect for any Digimon. Dig top 5. So play cost 3, dig top 5, add a Digimon. Then it's a 3-cost to search. Yeah. Okay, so you can use it to try to Evo into something you want or search what you want. Throw it in Jessamon to find Savior. True. 4 blue card Savior. 4 blue cards Jessamon. Oh my lord. I guess the problem with these types of cards is space, as always. It's like, do you want to run the card that searches the card you need, or do you want to run like the cards you need? It's always a toss-up. Definitely adds options. Very curious about this card. Very curious about this card. Alright, moving on to the last 2 cards in the set. The secret rares. Galemon Crimson Mode. When Digivolving, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. That's a pretty good effect. When attacking, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. That's a good effect. Add 1 to the number of cards trashed by this effect for every 10 cards in your opponent's trash. So obviously this is like a counter to the Beelzemon deck, which is really funny. Obviously some flavor going on there. It's a level 7 play cost or Digivolve cost of 6, 15,000 DP. As far as level 6 or level 7 effects goes, this is a pretty good one. I'm gonna give this card a 3. Yeah, I'll give it a 3. Yeah, this is a really funny card, actually. You could probably replace Agumon with this card in Security Control, right? Because you could go Avenge Kid, just Digivolve into Crimson Mode, delete all their shit with the highest DP, and then if Crimson Mode lives, just start like trashing the security. Yeah, good versus yellow decks. Yep. Really good card. Beelzemon Blast Mode. When this card is trashed from your deck, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Obviously very good in the context of the Beelzemon deck, who is milling all their cards. When Digivolving, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level. Okay, so this is highest level. This is highest DP when Digivolving. Okay. Your turn. For every 10 cards in your trash, the Digimon gets security attack +1. Okay. This card strikes me off the bat as worse than Crimson Mode, generically speaking. But in the context of its own deck, I can obviously see how this card is powerful, especially like the mill effect. And if I remember correctly, the Tamer also lets you go into blast mode from your trash for 3 instead of 6. Trash before the checking Gallant blitzes. Yeah. Yep. That's true, because then Takuya would give you blitz. So even though it costs 6, you can still trash. Yeah, this card's insane. Maybe this is a 4. This is a 4 and Beelzemon's a 3. This gets the 4 just because it's like generically good. And this is a 3 because it's a good card, but only in the context of its own deck. Alright, so there we have it, guys. Full EX2 set review. Notable cards in the set. We'll start all the way back from the top. The Digimon is a pretty good baby for the Galemon, and is like pretty generically good for any decks that run the promo Galemon just to get some extra draws. Pretty cool. Gummimon is probably one of the best green eggs we've gotten that are generic. The Mother D Reaper deck, just the whole deck in general, I think is just really strong. Very simple to pilot. Can definitely win games. A lot of people are going to be playing it. Every single card is rare or lower rarity, so it's going to be super cheap to build. Definitely going to be seeing a lot of D Reapers running around, myself included. Galemon line, pretty cool. Definitely strikes me as just like your classic red delete stuff, attack big, control mid-rangey type deck, 1-stack type deal. Very classic red deck. If you're into that kind of stuff, I think Galamon's gonna be pretty cool. The blue support is kind of all over the place. The only card that really stands out to me is this Leomon, just because being able to block, gain 2 memory, and draw 1 card is pretty strong. Galemon is pretty cool combo potential with cards that play stuff out of source, like Metal Garurumon or Kaisernail, etc. The Renamon deck looks really fun, albeit extremely inconsistent. The Locomon Rushdown deck looks really funny. Let's see, Terriermon stuff. Terriermon Tribal, unfortunately, doesn't seem to be super great. Mega Gargamon, I think the card seems fine. Other people seem to think that the OG Mega Gargamon is a better call for the deck. I think your mileage may vary either way. But in general, I will say the Terriermon Tribal deck is pretty much just reliant on the strength of Armor Rapidmon. And of course, that's like a super broken card. And if you're playing Armor Rapidmon like that, then maybe Yellow Hybrid is just like a better version to take it. The Justymon stuff seems kind of mid. I'm not too excited about it. Like, I get you can like pop off with like this one really cool combo turn, but I don't think the payoff is that great. Some Machine Dramon support with Kazu, which is pretty funny. The Beelzemon deck, if you're one of those guys who is really good at milling stuff in Light Sworns and Yu-Gi-Oh, then you finally find your deck in Digimon. Golfmon has a very funny effect that I think is kind of interesting. Beelzemon deck, like I said, very strong. Definitely really cool card interactions there with all the milling. D-Reaper stuff is going to be really good. Obviously, Gatekeeper and Reaper are the best cards in the deck, especially Gatekeeper. By far the best card in the deck, and the only reason the deck is any good. For the Tamers, Takato is really good in his deck. Rika is really good in her deck. Shuchong Wong is, again, the Lotmon Rushdown strat is there for whoever wants to take it. All the other Tamers are trash, except for Alice, which is just waiting to be broken. And I and Mako, which is obviously good in the Beelzemon deck. All the plugins are kind of meh, except for plugin S, I think is pretty cool. Blue card, I feel some type of way about it. I'm not sure. Crimson mode, super good card. And Blast mode, really solid card in its own archetype. Alright, guys. So there's the EX2 set review. Thank you to all the viewers in the chat here on twitch.tv. If you're watching this on YouTube, I did stream this entire set review here on Twitch, twitch.tv/DTJoel. I'm going to be streaming more often on Twitch. I'll post when my notifications go live on my Twitter @DigitamerJoel. Go ahead and follow me there. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. I know I haven't really been posting videos in a while, but we're going to be hitting the EX2 pretty hard for sure. And starting off here with this video. All right, guys. Catch you on the next one. And GG's. And for you guys in the stream, thank you for tuning in. And I will see you guys probably, hopefully on Saturday. No promises. Later.